Hey, thanks for reading the Bible with me. We are currently backtracking through some of my older posts so that all of the book of Luke is on YouTube as well as on my blog. So we are currently in Luke 2, verses 41 to 52. I'm reading in the New International Version off of Bible Gateway, and here we go. Every year, Jesus' parents went to Jerusalem for the festival of Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to the festival according to the custom. After the festival was over, while his parents were returning home, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem, but they were unaware of it. Thinking he was in their company, they traveled on for a day. Then they began looking for him among their relatives and friends. When they did not find him, they went back to Jerusalem to look for him. After 3 days, they found him in the temple courts, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. Everyone who heard him was amazed at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were astonished. His mother said to him, "Son, why have you treated us like this? Your father and I have been anxiously searching for you." "Why were you searching for me?" he asked. "Didn't you know I had to be in my father's house?" But they did not understand what he was saying to them. Then he went down to Nazareth with them and was obedient to them. But his mother treasured all these things in her heart. And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. Well, this is one of those stories we all like to joke about, but I'm sure at the time it was a nightmare. I'm hoping these days when Joseph and Mary bump into each other in heaven, they have learned to laugh about the time they lost God. I'm sure Mary has more than once said, "We had to leave that story in, eh?" Like nothing from birth to 30 made it in except the time we lost him. Nice. I lost a kid once. It was terrifying. Still, there are a couple things that stand out from my perspective as a mom. I've been there myself. The absolute worst day was the day I lost Kirsten for fully 2 to 3 minutes in the lobby at Great Wolf Lodge. If I think about it for more than a minute or two, I can still feel the waves of panic, nausea sweeping over me as I scan the room for her. I swear her hyper-independence was branded into her with finality that day. I'm not sure either of us is fully recovered. If you've never been there, be thankful. When you don't know where your kid is, your brain goes in one of two directions. 1, look for him where he's most likely to be, so call friends, check the candy store, send someone to look at the park. Or 2, freak out because something terrible has undoubtedly happened. The latter is kind of the "we've been searching frantically" scenario that I'm reading in this passage. To be fair, at first they assumed he was just traveling with others in the group, but when a 12-year-old boy doesn't show up for dinner, clearly something terrible has happened. I can't fault them for making that assumption. Still, they would have done well to check the candy store first. Where was Jesus? Exactly where he would want to be, the closest place on earth to the presence of his Father. He would be discussing the things he loved most with the people who knew them best. I'm guessing he figured out his parents had left and did what you're often told in wilderness survival scenarios: find a safe spot, stay there, and stay visible. When his mom said, "We've been losing our minds trying to find you," I think his response was an honest question. "You must have known. Why wouldn't you start looking at the temple? You must have known that's where I'd want to be." At 12, Jesus knew where he belonged. Yes, he was something special. Everyone at the temple could see that. He had insight well beyond his years, but he wasn't there to lecture. He was listening. He was asking questions, also responding with surprising discernment, but he was learning from the teachers at the temple. Even Jesus had to grow in wisdom while he grew in stature. As we proceed through this book of the Bible, it will become very apparent that Jesus is in fact God himself. But we can clearly observe in moments like this that he was also truly human. If you want to tell me that's tough to wrap your head around, thanks for being honest. This belief that Christians hold that Jesus is both fully God and fully man is, as far as I can tell, impossible to completely understand. But we can observe what we read, that both are clearly indicated as we read the accounts of Jesus' life. So yeah, just because you and I can't figure out how it works, doesn't mean it doesn't work. Which is a confusing statement, but I stand by it.